Okay, so why don't we have Jill and Eddison do their sharing?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jill. Thanks to the grace of heaven, virtuous masters, grand predecessor and predecessor, thanks to the mercy and compassion of the transmitters, and everyone here for giving me the opportunity to share my story from last year's summer trip back to Taiwan. Since I received Tao in May 2014, I wanted to travel back to Taiwan to visit my father. He was a forgotten person in my life in the past because of the family issues. However, during the winter of 2014, I went back and asked him to receive Tao, even though I have not seen him for about 10 years. It was awkward at first, and I didn't know how to begin. It was the first time for my kids to see their grandfather too. I thank to the grace of heaven and virtuous masters that he didn't give me a hard time. Instead, both of my father and his wife received Tao in Tongyi that winter. In the summer of 2015, I went back again and took him to the first Dharma class in Yufo together with my older sister's son, who received Tao and attended his first Dharma class there as well. Then summer 2016 and 2017, we continued to attend the Dharma class at Yufo. Personally, I feel proud of my father because he managed to attend Dharma class even though he was not mobile like a normal person. To make a long story short, last year summer, he almost died from choking while eating at a vegetarian restaurant. We arranged to meet there for dinner, then would drive back together to his house. It was the first dish that came out on the table. Usually my aunt or his wife watches what food that he should be taking, since he has Parkinson's disease that affected not only his legs, but also his speech and the muscle function of his throat. It was fine for the first bite, but the second bite, he was not able to swallow it down. At the time, I was on his left, and my aunt was on his right. He made the gaggling, poking sound, and she tried to remove the food from his throat. Nothing came out. I witnessed his lips turned color from red to purple to black. Then he lost consciousness. My kids were scared, and one ran away. No one seemed to know what to do. Everyone was in shock. At the time, I was relying on my aunt, who I thought could make the decision about what to do. But she was in a total panic mode and was repeating the same words over and over by saying, "What should we do? What should we do? You can't leave yet." I took the initiation to quickly ask people at the restaurant to call the ambulance. Before the ambulance arrived, 3 or 4 men from other table tried to perform the abdominal thrusts. That's the Heimlich maneuver, which one goes behind the victim and put his fist between the navel and the rib cage and apply sudden pressure inward. So 2 men were holding his arms because the lost conscious body was not able to stand nor sit. Then one person was performing the Heimlich maneuver. Nothing happened. He was laying on the floor unconscious for some time before the ambulance people showed up. No one can do anything. About at least 10 minutes has gone by before the ambulance's arrival. When they arrived, they checked his breathing and flipped his eyelids open and quickly attached a pumping device on his chest to pump his heart. The pumping device was really hard, was really really, really loud, and, one can hear the sound that it was making. Then, 5 men carried him downstairs from a third floor by stairs. The elevator was too small. I sat next to him while my aunt was sitting at the front passenger seat in the ambulance. I looked at him and I prayed to God or Lamu. I used the 5 words that I had in doubt. The ambulance ride took about less than 10 minutes. Upon arriving to the ER, my aunt told the nurses that they can open his throat if necessary to remove whatever to save his life. About less than 10 minutes, the doctor came out and told us that his throat passage has been cleared. They used a long thin tube to suck out few stuff that were in his throat. It was a piece of soft cucumber and a few semi-chewed up rice. Then he was admitted to the hospital for further observation, just in case if complications of prolonged unconsciousness can be severe. I want to thank to the Grace of Heaven and Virtuous Masters. I really thought I was going to help in prepare a funeral and arrange a short-term leave from work. Fortunately, my father was rescued and released from the hospital with no further complications that was related to his prolonged unconsciousness. Earlier, I had mentioned that I had in doubt about the 5 words to be said, that it can be used as a SOS. Not now, I don't. Going back to what happened, I used the 5 words or the mantra ever since the time when my father was struggling, then became unconscious, watched his body fall on the floor, carried into the ambulance, sent to ER, while waited outside the ER and tried to call my aunt. And until he was no longer life-threatened, I remember that I didn't stop. Even I was talking with my aunt. When I thought about what happened, I was not sure how I was calm and very calm at the time. One thing I do know that I no longer have in doubt what the force or the energy of that 5 words possess. That is all I have to share with everyone. And thank you.
Thank you, Jill. It's a touching, beautiful story. Then we are so happy. I know sometimes they might cause brain damage because of timing, but fortunately, your father recovered. I know it's beautiful. We always talk about preciousness of Tao until we face some challenge and difficulties, life-threatening situation. It's pretty amazing, yeah. So we should use 5 words regularly, but we cannot speak out, but we can use daily. That's what Holy Teacher told us. So once we use regularly, then we knew when emergency case comes, we know what to use, what to do. Thank you, Jill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Actually, I'm sure a lot of people, perhaps, they may have their doubts about, whether this 3 treasures is actually, does anything or, just like Jill had originally, and then, found out that it works. But of course, I think it's also due to her sincerity. Okay. We have to be sincere, of course, and have that. And I always say that the Tao is something, it's not the knowledge that you gain. You have to experience the Tao. Okay. So that's, in this case, you can say Jill experienced the Tao, and that kind of cleared up her doubts. Okay. So until we experience the Tao, we may still have doubts, questions in our mind. Okay, so that's so that's why we have to, we really have to be sincere, and to really experience the Tao, we have to be sincere, and we have to initially obviously accept what's being said, and then sincerely apply it in our lives to really truly experience the preciousness of Tao.
One thing also, Jill and Eddison also, they are vegetarian, and also they have a family temple at home. So not everyone knows that. So at least they are the temple hosts. They got family temples at home. Yeah.
Hi, transmitters and lecturers and everyone. I believe Jill is calm at the time. It's because she has been doing her homework. Every day she's been doing the letting go and hearing Lecture Liu's Buddha nature class. When we do the homework, it will help us build that concentrate samadhi. The power of concentration will be stronger and stronger, because perhaps the Buddha nature is reviewing. When I encountered my situation, I noticed I was lacking that homework, and I wasn't able to use the second treasure, divine mantra, and I know that we have to train ourselves a little every day, maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day to recite that divine mantra in a way we train ourselves to, so that at night when we have a dream, if we need to use it, we can use it. Then we can say we have succeeded we know how to use it, even in the dream. If we can't do it in the dream, then we would still need to practice. This is some of my, what I noticed for myself, so to share with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, Holy Teacher keeps reminding us to, perform the letting go of all karmic affinities and not giving rise to a single thought, right? So this is, and as I mentioned in class Friday, it's, probably, in that future time, we need to have that clear, calm mind, composed, just, mind of concentration, if we will, so that we don't attract all sorts of the karma to us. Okay. All right. So, Eddison.
Hi. I'll try to keep it short. Thanks to the grace of heaven, grand predecessors, first predecessors, transmitters, and everyone here to give me this opportunity to share my story. So this is, as you know, that we have a home temple at home. So this is the year after we have set up the home temple. We go skiing, and I have a incident where I fainted while skiing down the mountain. So after the skiing, I go to my cardiologist and have some checkup. We do AKGs, and then we have a stress test. I also have a brain scan. We do all the tests. Everything comes back normal according to the cardiologist. Jumping forward to that same year in the summertime, again, we go back to Taiwan. Jill has an experience of a very painful feet, her feet. So she's cannot walk for a long time. So luckily her sister knows a specialist, a feet doctor in a Taipei hospital. So she's making an appointment to the doctor to check her feet. While there, she said, why don't you go and take a look at your heart, have a second opinion of your heart, the heart doctor at the same hospital. So luckily, that doctor was able to schedule an appointment for both of us for the same day. So she goes check her feet, I go check my heart. The cardiologist in Taiwan said, there's something abnormal with your heart. We need to do more tests. And I said, okay. And he said, it's a stress test we had to do. And I said, no problem, I already did that, so there was no issues. He does the stress test the next day. He comes back and said, there's something abnormal. We still need to do one more test. At that point, Jill and I was like, thinking, well, we are traveling back to the United States next week. We had to think about it. So we take this third test, which is scheduled on Friday. It's pretty much entire day, and the doctors comes back in the afternoon. Luckily, he was able to call us like before we go back to. So he has to make tell us that we had to make a decision because the test results came back not that good. They had to do one more test, and these tests require them to open up and inject a camera or something to determine what the blockage is there or not. So he said that if they do open, I had to stay in the hospital for a week, and if it's something really bad, they had to maybe hold me there for another month. But that's not an option because our kids have school, Jill has to go back to work, and we are going back to the United States like a couple of days. I called our doctor and cardiologist in the United States, explained to him what's going on. He said, there's nothing to worry about, just come back and make an appointment and we can see what's going on with the results they did. So we fly back in the U.S. on Monday. On Tuesday, I have an appointment for my cardiologist. He looked at the exam that they did over there in Taiwan. He's not sure what's going on because he never seen those tests. So he's not convinced that I need to go to the ER. We explained to him that the doctors in Taiwan, they were really worried that I need to do the exam where they had to inject the camera or something into the heart. After a while, the doctor agreed that, okay, go to the ER on Wednesday and tell them you have a heart problem, not heart problem, chest pain, and then give them the test results. We do that on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, the ER doctor says, okay, there are some abnormalities of the results, and we had to do a test. So anyway, so this is on Wednesday. They do the test on Wednesday around 11 o'clock. The test, it's same results as the results in Taiwan. The doctor's keeping me at the hospital, and I have a bypass surgery on Thursday. And thanks to Jill's feet, her pain sort of disappeared afterwards. Because of her feet, I was able to have a second opinion of my heart and have the bypass. I'm taking today because of that.
Oh, that's great. It's like there are no coincidences here.
Right. The doctors indicated when they opened me up, they said that, this has been going for a while. How come it didn't get checked before? I told him I've been seeing the cardiologist for every year, and his test results didn't indicate anything. But this second doctor from Taiwan, in his test, yes, there was something wrong. So the second opinion kind of saved my life.
Yeah, wow. And then you just check since you're hospital because Jill's feet. So.
But we went to the doctor because Jill had pain in the feet. She was could not do much that day.
Can I just also add something? At the time, because Eddison has limited understanding of Chinese, so really at the time, the doctor at Taipei, they advised him not to fly because he will take the risk of cardiac arrest. But he made that choice, and I really have to thank Laumo for this. Protect, like someone is watching us all the time.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's an amazing story, right?
Yeah.
Eddison, you could have a heart attack any moment, in that situation.
Right, that's why the doctors in Taiwan told you not to fly. They want to keep you there to the Zen right there.
Especially if we are on the airplane, something happened, and there's no surgery, no doctor to help us. So, God bless you. Yeah, I know. We are so fortunate and lucky. Yeah, in that situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Well, I mean, it's also, I think, right. This happened after you guys set up your temple and all that too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The temple was set up in 2017, and this was happening in 2018.
Yeah. So.
That's why we encourage people to make a vegetarian vow, and, put out a family temple at home. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. So it's basically.
Let's do that. That's it. Yeah. We don't want to prolong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely. This. Since we're talking about that, we want to definitely. If we think we can try to, we were ready to set up or become vegetarian, take the vow. I mean, we have to first be vegetarian for at least 6 months, to a year, and we can do it, right? I mean, we can exclude like those pungent vegetables that we talked about, onion, garlic, all that, no tobacco, no drinking alcohol, all that stuff. Then we can take the vow. But the senior transmitter will have to agree to that, and then because when we take the vow, of course, it's a commitment for the rest of our lives, and if we break the vow, not only does it affect ourselves and our ancestors, actually, okay, it affects them too, and then also the transmitter has to share in the burden as well. So we have to be sure that we can do it. Yeah. But definitely if we can do it, we should take the vow. And I'm sure the Buddha's heaven will also try to help us too. They want to see us succeed as well.